Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Batteries Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. Of course, if you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. If you need a roof, you call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15 for 15% off of your order. Okay, y'all. Tigers were back on the practice field yesterday. We got to watch about 30 minutes, and it was cool because we got to watch team periods instead of the individual periods at the beginning of practice. And we do have full availability at practice today. So we get to watch the full practice today. They're off on Wednesday. No. We have no access Wednesday. They're off on Thursday. Did I screw that up? Hang on. Okay. No access Wednesday. They're off on Thursday. We get to watch the full practice Friday, and then Saturday they scrimmage. So a lot of availability this week. So we'll, as they're moving through camp, and they should be full pads today, by the way. Brian Kelly said they'll tackle today. So Harold Perkins was a standout yesterday on Monday. He had an interception in 7-on-7. He had he forced a throwaway by Nuss on a blitz. Perkins came on a blitz, and Nuss just threw it in the ground to avoid the sack. He had a great TFL on a tight end screen. They threw a little rise up tight end screen to Bauer Sharp in the flat. Perkins got off his block, made the tackle for loss. So he continues to really shine in that position, which imagine that Harold Perkins playing in space is a good idea. Who knew? Anyway, so that was good. Bernard Gooden continues to play really well. Get my notes just in case there's anything I forget. So, y'all got stuff you want to know? Fire away. Caden Durham had another long touchdown run. It was interesting. I don't know if you saw it, but the odds came out for conference leaders for passing, rushing, receiving. Nuss favored to lead the SEC in passing. Caden Durham favored to lead the SEC in rushing. So I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. He was plus 750, and the next closest, I think, was maybe Jam Miller. Or no, it was Auburn's running back at plus 900. So neither has great odds. A lot of value if you pick the right winner. But it goes to show you there isn't necessarily a clear-cut number one bell cow, and some of the teams that are probably going to be the better running teams in the league maybe don't have like A&M, for example. Like I think Texas A&M is going to lead the conference in rushing this year, but they don't have one guy. They got like three guys plus their quarterback. So, Marcel Reed. So really have four guys are going to be splitting carries. You may not have one guy go over 1,000 yards, but you may have four guys between 6 and 750. You know what I mean? Anyway. All right, please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Saints back on the practice field again today. So we'll get a Saints camp report and full availability at LSU practice. So excited for that. All right, let's say some good mornings here. Please smash that like button if you would subscribe to the channel. Caleb, Christian, you weren't first. Caleb was first. Caleb, then Christian. Bradley, good morning. Thomas, morning, Matt. Just finished quarterback on Netflix. I would love the Saints to go get Kirk Cousins. Let those two young guys learn from real professional. I didn't watch that. I started to watch the first episode last season, like when he got traded to the Falcons. Or I guess when he signed with the Falcons. And I made it through like half an episode. Eric and I didn't like, this stinks. Didn't watch it. But I think Burrow's on this year's, right? So I'm probably going to watch it with Burrow. Ben, good morning. Hey, Abner, good morning. Jacob, Bubba, boom, docking and rocking. Good morning. Hey, Austin, good morning. Thanks for the nice shout out to Emily the other day. She appreciated it. Of course. Congratulations. For those that missed it, Austin's wife, Emily, officially became an American citizen, I guess last week or maybe over the weekend. You leaving? Okay, babe. Yeah. All right. Have a good day. That's awesome. What a great momentous occasion for your entire family. That's awesome, man. Hey, Jacob, Matt on the defensive side of the ball. Who's the one that's going to have a big year? We keep talking about Perkins. The name that nobody knows that you need to know is Bernard Gooden. I'm going to keep saying that every time I can because every time we go out there, he just keeps making plays. That's the South Florida transfer defensive tackle. He is just a disruptive guy. He's very good at getting off blocks. He is explosive. He's got a quick first step, which means if he's getting up the field, quick first step will get him by an offensive lineman, put him in the backfield, right? He's just always there. Look, Bernard Gooden looks unblockable. I mean, that's everybody out there sees the same thing. You know, it's like you go read whoever's practice report or listen to whoever's podcast that's out there, or watch whatever videos. Like they're all saying the same thing. We're all saying the same thing because we all see it. I mean, he's a menace. Like they can't seem to get in front of him. Josh, does anyone know what happened to Jordy with his morning show? I saw it changed, but Jordy disappeared. He's doing okay. Yeah, I think Jordy just retired from it. Last time I talked to him, it's been maybe about a month or so, maybe a little more than a month since I talked to Jordy. But yeah, he was just ready to step away and do something different. That's all. Nothing happened. Nothing. He's fine. Doing medical sales and doing good. I think he was just ready for something different. Hey, Bradley, if Clemson is so good, what are the coaches poll voters seeing that we're not seeing, having to come in at number 6 when I'm sure everyone else had them higher than that? I don't know that everyone else had them higher than that. I think it's probably about right. The big thing in the coaches poll that was a takeaway for me was like Florida, South Carolina, Texas A&M, that cluster of sort of next SEC teams were, I think, appropriately rated by the coaches. So, well, South Carolina was 13. I still think that's too high. Ole Miss 15, Florida 17, A&M 21. I think that's appropriate. Even Oklahoma was like also receiving votes. Missouri also receiving votes. Like there were some polls that had Oklahoma bumping up around like the top 10 and A&M too. And I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, I realize someone has to be there, but what are we talking about here? These were teams that were 500 or a game above 500 a year ago. And you got them pushing the top 10? No. Eric, good morning, Scone. Who are the top 5 paid players on LSU's roster? Curious how that dynamic now plays against performance you've seen in camp. I'd have to check on that, Eric. I don't know. I mean, Nuss is the highest paid, and he was not last year, by the way. I mean, Nuss was just among quarterbacks in the league was probably $13th. I mean, he was way down there last year among starting quarterbacks. He got a significant pay raise this year, naturally. I don't know. Let me ask. I'm running through my head of the transfers and who got what I know who got what. And the incoming freshmen. Let me ask. Dale, what's new with GMEX? Honestly, Dale, I need to go have a sit down with David. Like, we just need to catch up. He had some family stuff, and I just need to go catch up with him And candidly, the last 6 weeks for me have been, as you all know, a lot of travel. So I was in 7 cities in the last 6 weeks, and now we're in camp. So I just need to get on that. Hey, Bailey, feels like Hugh Freeze or Pittman getting fired. I think this will be Pittman's last year, no matter what. Fired, retire, whatever. Freeze certainly could be run out of there at Auburn if they don't turn it around. I'd say the same for Billy Napier. With a little more increased expectation this year, if they stumble, I think he could be done. And then Brent Venables is actually the answer. I mean, Brent Venables is outside of Pittman is the one. I mean, if they don't have a major bounce back this year, I don't know that Venables makes it through the year, actually. I mean, if you go look at Oklahoma's schedule, Oklahoma starts with Illinois State, then they play Michigan. Lose that home game to Michigan. Then you're at Temple, which I have no idea why they're playing at Temple, but they're playing at Temple. Then they're home against Auburn, Kent State. Then they got the Red River rivalry against Texas. Then they're at South Carolina. I mean, you lose to Michigan, Texas, South Carolina. I mean, you're 3 losses before November. I mean, he could be fired then. Because then they got Ole Miss at Tennessee, at Alabama, Missouri, LSU. I mean, you could lose to Michigan, Texas, at South Carolina, at Tennessee, at Alabama, LSU. You could be talking about another 6-6 team. He's fired. Like, not very enviable. Hey, Brent, good morning. Stat Dub, he can only run as far as the O-line will allow. Going to be a hot one today. Robert, good morning. Brad, Quentin, Shiloh, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. How does Kern look at tackle? Just so you know, Rooney, Kern is C-U-R-N-E, Kern, Carries Kern. He looks really good. He's running the twos. In the one-on-one pass rush drill yesterday, he beat Patrick Payton twice. Patrick Payton's a really good player. I mean, Carries Kern's a true freshman. Patrick Payton is a senior with a ton of experience, and Kern beat him twice in one-on-ones. So they got a lot of they have a lot of talent on the offensive line. It's just you go watch the one. I've repeated this a little bit, but you go watch the one-on-one drills, and the offensive line generally has the upper hand. They go into team, and the defense sort of overwhelms the offensive line. And I think it's just a product of the offense is learning to play together. And that's typically how it is in camp. The defense generally is ahead of the offense at the start because the defense can play instinctive read react, where the offense has to have snap count, cadence, and timing with quarterbacks and receivers. And the offensive line has to learn to block together and calls and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not surprised the defense in team periods had the upper hand, but the offense has the talent. If they can bring it all together, they have the talent to be really good. Do you think we have a number 7 on offense this year going to be Perkins? Don't know, and I really don't care. Not to be dismissive, I just don't know, and I don't care. Let's see, what's cracking, Scone? Seems like Brian Kelly's first season with a young O-line and experienced D-line. How is the safety room looking? So I don't think it's a young O-line, to be very clear. Braylon Moore has started 2 seasons at Virginia Tech. Josh Thompson's a multi-year starter at Northwestern. DJ Chester started every game for you last year. That's 3 guys that have started a bunch. You have 2 new tackles now with Tyree Adams, who's a third-year player, and Weston Davis, who's a second-year player, but first-time starters. And then you have Paul Mabenga, who started 5 games a season ago as well. So you got some experience on that line. And then I think the safety room is much improved. It is really refreshing to watch AJ Halsey play. He's really good. 13, he'll start. He's really good. He's the Houston transfer. The 2 guys they got in the spring portal, Bernard Good and AJ Halsey, man, key late ads for sure. Hey, Tracy, good morning. Head of the Clemson game. Hope the Tigers shock everyone. I hope you're right, Tracy. I don't know that it would be like a total shock. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it would be. I mean, it's a 3-point line. I don't think it would be the biggest upset ever. I do understand why Clemson's favorite. That's what I'll continue to say. It's just they're at home. They got a senior quarterback. You know, coaches won a couple of titles. Talented team. They got really good receivers. Good defensive line. Night game at home, all that sort of stuff. So I get why they're favored, but LSU certainly capable of winning the game. Did you notice top 3 projected SEC passers were all born in Louisiana? Interesting. Nuss, Shapen, and Arch. I didn't notice that, but sure. Blake Shapen went to Evangel, for those who don't remember. Of course, Arch is from New Orleans. So, hey, Brad, good morning. I was listening to a Florida media guy. He said he hates LSU because of what they did with the Hurricane in 2016. Do you remember what did LSU do that was wrong? Yeah, nothing. Jeremy Foley was actually the complete a-hole in that situation, the Florida AD. LSU bent over backwards to try to accommodate everything to make that game happen. They offered Tiger Stadium. They offered to play a neutral site. LSU offered to fly into Gainesville the morning of and then fly out right after the game. They offered to move the game up, to move the game back. Like, LSU tried to accommodate everything, and Foley's answer to everything was no, 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 no. And so then Joe Oliva dug his heels in because Florida wanted LSU to give up its home game against South Alabama, maybe. LSU had a non-conference home game, and Florida wanted LSU to give up that game and then come to Gainesville. And LSU was like, no, that's a $8-10 million gate receipt, right? Giving that up to come play this game when we've tried to make every accommodation possible to play this game on the playing date. And like, and the problem in that whole situation arose because Joe Oliva was just terrible at PR. And he looked like a petulant child because he just didn't know how to manage the situation. When in actuality, LSU tried to do everything right to get that game played. And oh, by the way, LSU, right after Hurricane Katrina, played a home game at Arizona State. LSU played a home game in 2008 at 10 a.m. against Appalachian State. LSU played a home game on a Monday against Tennessee, where Tennessee flew in the day of the game and flew out right after because, like, yeah, there are situations you can't control where you make accommodations and considerations, and Florida didn't want to do any of it. So bleep that Florida guy. He's a moron. Didn't know what he's talking about. Hey, Chance, good morning. Andy, haven't seen anyone talking about Whit Weeks. How's he doing so far? Really good. Whit didn't participate in the team period on Saturday, but he was back out there yesterday doing team drills. So he's great. Whit's awesome. Don't worry about Whit. Hey, Weston, good morning. Spurge, good morning. Jason H., good morning. Bailey, Venables, yeah, probably more like Brent Venables, actually, of all the coaches in college football, the odds of being the first coach fired, the best odds, I guess, or worse, or however you want to say it, the most likely coach to be fired first is the Arizona coach. Second highest odds to be the first coach fired is Brent Venables. Drew's doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Yeah, he starts school on Tuesday. So a week from today, Drew is back at New St. Lillian. But he does start earlier this year. So I don't know what that's going to mean for morning Scone. So I'm going to have to get him there earlier. So I don't know what we're going to do as far as start time or on morning Scone. So to be determined. Hey, Charles, quick question. I was hoping you would touch on how has our special teams unit looked, been an up and down under Kelly. Punter was big question mark. So the new punter, Grant Chadwick, who they got from Middle Tennessee, looks awesome. I had one staff member tell me they think he'll leave LSU as the best punter in program history for whatever that's worth. He is 6'5", long, and has a massive leg. Ramos has been very inconsistent so far. Brian Kelly was asked about it yesterday and actually compared it to a pitcher. He basically says he's gained more velo on the fastball, but he needs to throw strikes, which was an interesting way to put it. But basically, they can judge like exit velocity, for lack of a better phrase. And so Ramos has gotten stronger. His leg has gotten stronger. Where he was kicking like 68 miles an hour, and I was like at 72 miles an hour, something like that. So his velo is up, but he's got to throw strikes. So I mean, he doinked an extra point off the upright that went in. He missed from like 28 the other day. He just missed from 44. Like he just needs to get his timing down. Venables be gone. Oklahoma thinks they can recruit in the SEC. Trivia. Good morning. Let's see, Bailey. Heard people say Burrow could one out of Cincy if they miss playoffs again. I don't see that. I hope he isn't wasted by a cheap owner. I don't know how you could call him a cheap owner, man. I mean, they paid Burrow $500,000 or $500 million. They paid Jamar Chase. I understand the Hendrickson deal right now, but at the same time, like, you can't pay everyone. I mean, that's the deal. If you're going to pay your quarterback $500 million in a salary cap league, you can't pay everyone. You have to decide. I mean, it's what happened with the Saints. Like, the Saints made the decision to pay Marshawn Lattimore and to pay Michael Thomas and Ryan Ramczyk. And those were good decisions at the time. But it meant they couldn't pay Trey Hendrickson, and they had to watch Marcus Williams walk. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you just have to make that decision sometime, who you're going to pay. Home field advantage automatic +3. James, good morning. Michael, good morning. John, good morning. Drew's good, man. Thank you for asking. Sleeping right now. Getting him some R&R. That number 8 guy on the field, what's his role on the team? Yeah. So you're talking about Juwan Johnson. Brian Kelly talked about him yesterday. I want to play that soundbite for you. First.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, Parish Construction and Roofing. Of course, if you need orthopedics, you go to Brock, and your roof you call Parish. Remember, at Brock, the after-hours clinic open nights and weekends, all the subspecialties. Go see our friends over at Brock, and they are expanding as well. Congrats, by the way, to Brock Doc, Dr. Matt Mozick, Catholic High alum, who this past weekend was inducted into the Grizzly Greats Athletic Hall of Fame over at CHS. So, great state champion wrestler during his time at Catholic. Now he's Brock Doc, an orthopedist, and go see Dr. Mozick over there at Brock. And of course, we love to help you out. Parish Construction and Roofing, ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Let's see. So, David had asked about number 8. So that's Juwan Johnson. So Juwan Johnson, Brian Kelly talked about yesterday. I would love to play the soundbite for you. I just don't know which one it is. Let's see if I can get which one it is. I'm going to have to guess. Unless if I can find it on Twitter. Let's see.
He's really flashed. He's doing a lot of good things.
Are good.
Well, he's given everything we've asked him, probably more. He's a special kid. He'll do anything. We got him working at quarterback right now, wide receiver, running back. I think when it comes to making a decision on Juwan, how far do we go this year with him? Because we didn't redshirt him last year. And I want to make sure that his time is valuable and impactful. So whatever happens with Juwan, he's going to play 4 games. The question is whether he plays 5. And that will be dictated as he performs and as the offense kind of works around him. But we love him and what he's doing for our program.
Okay, so that's really, really, really interesting. And that was actually the focus of today's Locked On. So if you get a chance to listen or watch Locked On, I'd recommend go check it out because I go into a lot of detail about Juwan Johnson. So, he came to LSU, played quarterback in high school, set Louisiana records for yards and touchdowns. Comes to LSU as a defensive back. John Emery tears his ACL. They move him to running back. In spring, after they lose A.J. Swan and Ricky Collins, they move him to quarterback. So he's moved all over the place. And this spring, he's in the individual periods, he's with the quarterbacks. But when they go team, he's playing running back. And you heard BK say, the running back receiver. He's such a dynamic guy who knows what to do with the ball in his hands that he is a valuable weapon. So you have this really interesting question of, okay, on a team with so much offensive skill where you're going to struggle to find ways to get everybody involved as it is. Like, do you use Juwan Johnson in the red zone or their gadget plays? And is it valuable enough to where you would use him all season, or do you try to redshirt him this year? Now, I would say this. The other part of it is, okay, well, if you're going to play him in 4 games, is it Southeastern and Tech and Vanderbilt and Western Kentucky? Or if you're going to use him in 4 games, do you use him in Clemson, at Ole Miss, at Bama, at Oklahoma? Or where he could be could be close road games, he could be a really impactful player in certain situations, red zone, whatever it may be. And you can get 4 games out of him in key situations. That's going to be fascinating to see. And I don't know what they're going to do. They'll let it continue to develop and evolve. But as Brian Kelly said there, a lot of that's going to have to do with how he does in those situations, like how the offense sort of evolves around him. Is it how do you say it? Does he warrant being on the field? So, he's going to play 4. Does he play 5? And I think that's going to depend on how the offense continues to evolve. So that's definitely one to watch. It's fascinating too, because he's a really talented guy. But you didn't redshirt him last year. Do you want to burn a year this year for a minimal role, or do you want to do like they did with Nussmeier? Look at the benefit to Nussmeier now not playing in that bowl game against Kansas State in 2021. It's ultimately why he's able to have this extra season. So you never know what could transpire in another 3 years from now. Hey, Lowell, good morning. Chance Napier got himself off the hot seat with their late rally. No, he didn't. He saved his job for this year, but I gave you that list earlier of the first coach to be fired. Brent Brennan from Arizona, Venables, Brent Pry at Virginia Tech, Sam Pittman, Hugh Freeze, Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati, then Billy Napier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got the 7th highest odds to be the first, not just to be fired, to be the first coach fired. So Billy Napier is very much still in the crosshairs, man. He just saved his job for this year, to be able to start this season. Hey, Roger, good morning. Andy, didn't they give T. Higgins a contract too? They did. H-Town, let's see. Position group that worries me, field goal unit specifically, they had a kick block versus Baylor. I'll tell you the other thing too that was a problem last year was the operation of the field goal PAT. And a big part of that was Peyton Todd. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead. He's not dead, just figuratively speaking. He's now at ULM. But how many times you remember Brian Kelly just getting all over Peyton Todd as he was coming off the field? Because remember, as the holder, he's doing the snap, play. So, like, all the things have to be executed for a field goal to work. All the timing of the snap, the hold, the placement, the kick, all of it. And that whole execution, that whole process was off last year. So Chadwick is the new holder. So that's something worth keeping an eye on too. You got it. Nick Anderson 100. Man, these wide receivers are going to be troublemakers for many DBs. Yes, they are. There's so much talent. I think it's best Juwan and team gets redshirted this season, especially with quarterback. Yeah, I just don't know that he's going to play quarterback. That's the thing, man. Like, I have a big investment in Michael Van Buren. You've got Colin Hurley as well. You didn't sign a quarterback at 25. You don't have one committed for 26. So Juwan Johnson helps your numbers at that position, but I don't know that he's ever going to be your starting quarterback. I mean, like, I would prefer them find a spot for him, right? It's a strange thing because, like, he's really good at a lot of different things. I don't think they've found that he's elite at one thing yet. Maybe that emerges. Yeah, it's a similar conversation to the convo we had with Russ all those years. You had better running backs, you had better receivers, you had better quarterbacks, but you had this one guy who was good at all of them. So what do? And look, Russ ended up playing almost a decade in the NFL as a receiver and special teams player because he was that great of an athlete. Juwan Johnson could be the same guy. But if you put him at receiver, okay, well, who are you taking off the field? Barry Brown? No. Nick Anderson? No. Chris Hilton? No. Aaron Anderson? No. Same thing at running back. Hey, Brian Wynn, good morning. Thomas, good morning, Thomas. You already missed the jingle. We've checked the box today. So it has been achieved already. Hey, Razor, with RevShare and how well the front office putting rosters together with Austin, is Kelly really in the hot seat this year? No. Like, I feel like I've answered that question a bajillion times. That's okay that you asked, but no. If they fire Brian Kelly this year, they would owe him $51 million. They're not paying that buyout. Like, better chance of me waking up tomorrow with a full head of hair than LSU paying a $51 million buyout. Just not happening. So, no, he's not on the hot seat. Now, if this team, with all the investment, doesn't make the playoff, then I think you go into next year with a different kind of question. It would still be a large buyout after next season, the $40 million range. But I think you could start to look at if they take a step back in 26. Okay, now you're looking at your exit strategy. Is there a lump sum payment and then the balance paid out over 10 years? Would negotiate a smaller number? I don't know. But I think they could start having that conversation in 26. Remember when the holder was always a quarterback? Why did that change? It was at least for a threat for trick play. That's not necessarily the case. I think you see backup quarterbacks, punters as holders. Like for the Saints, Thomas Morstead was always the holder, was the punter. A lot of Les's teams had quarterbacks as the holder. Who was the flip to Colt David in 2007 against South Carolina? That was Matt Flynn who flipped it. I'm trying to remember who flipped it in 2010. Was that Jarrett Lee? Who flipped it? Jasper's the one that picked it up. Brad Cragthorpe. Oh, that was 20. What year was that? That was 2015. 2010, the fake field goal in 2010. Was that Lee who flipped it? And it bounced when it bounced? Oh, man. I'm trying to see the play. Oh, here we go. Wait. That was a Tolliver touchdown. What a play. What a great game, man. Well, y'all can say what y'all want about Les. That dude won a ton of games, man. So good. Yeah, no, it was was it Wing? It was Wing. Or it was 38. Was that who was 38 on 20? Was that the God, he barely made it too. It was 38, so it was the punter, but was that the rugby style punter? And now we're going down this rabbit hole. Anyway, so the point being, it wasn't quarterback; it was 38. Helton, Derek Helton. Well, Helton and Wing both had 38. I think was it Helton or was it Wing? Whatever. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay. That was a fun trip down memory lane. Philip, morning, Drew. Haha. I'm amazed Florida hasn't gone all in, hired a big name coach, leading back to prominence. I mean, Napier was the young gun. I mean, he was the darling, the hot name that everybody wanted. Charles Reese, not trying to get you to spoil a Clemson preview. Want to get your take on a position group LSU will have the upper hand against Clemson in a similar fashion, their D-line versus our O-line. Yeah, good question. I think LSU's receivers are probably going to have an edge over every team they play. The question is, can the offensive line give Nussmeier time to make plays? There you go, Thomas. Roy, good morning. H-Town Creole, game has changed at the quarterback position. Van Buren seems to be very inaccurate the past his freshman season and now. If you've been listening to our practice reports, that's been my one single biggest takeaway about Van Buren. And it was there again yesterday. He missed Barry and Brown on a go route down the right sideline, threw it out of bounds. He airmailed one to Kyle Parker over the middle, threw it to nobody. Just that part of his game has got to improve. Now, that Joe Sloan deserves a ton of credit for turning Daniels into one of the most accurate passers we've ever seen. So I'm not going to give up on Van Buren. But that's the part of the game they got to work on. So where Dabo saying Clemson's going to go 60-0, I don't believe Dabo said that. Tim, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Brad Wing was one of my favorite. It looks like it was I'm not talking about Wing y'all. I think y'all are thinking in 2011. So in 2011 is when Wing ran the ball, right? That's not what I'm talking about. To the left side. I'm talking about in 2010 when the punt, like the one that bounced in Gainesville. Then 2015, they ran another fake where I think it was Cragthorpe who threw it to Trent Domang. Trying to find that 2010 one now on Twitter where I was just anyway. Oh wait, I know what I can do. Well, hang on. Oh, they just have it as Jasper runs for 5 yards. They don't have the. It's just hard to tell in that video if it was Wing or if it was Helton. There were 238s. Everybody wanted Napier except LSU. Hang on. All right. You flipped it. So I think y'all are thinking. What a game. What a game. What a game. What a game. Hang on, I'm watching. Here's the play. Here's the play. Yeah. It was Helton. It was Helton. Helton's the one that flipped it. I thought so. It was Derek Helton who flipped it to Josh Jasper in 2010. Wing in 2011 ran the ball on the left side, which y'all thought thinking about. So Helton flipped it, and then in 2015 is when Cragthorpe threw it to Domang, who ran it in. Do you keep certain websites open every day during the morning, Scone? Facebook and YouTube. Trent, the kicker, say, was nervous. He blacked out during the fake field goal pass against Florida. Didn't read consciousness halfway to the end zone. I believe that. That's a you better get there. Charlie was definitely punching for name. Maybe Hurley will start developing after a second year. Maybe so, man. That's just one of those things where I don't get why you would. I understand why guys reclassify, especially now because of money. But you think about it in high school, guys try to get held back so they're further advanced. And now you got guys trying to graduate high school early to get to college early. Just, I'm with you. LSU and Florida had incredible games over the year. 07, less 5 and 4 downs. Yeah. I got a picture right here. This is, I'll show you how. Got Breeze. And then this is Hester crossing the goal line against Florida in 07. The final of the 4th downs. So anyway. All right, y'all. Let's wrap this thing up. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All the sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube. They're tagged on Facebook. Please go check out Locked on LSU. Practice report from yesterday's there. Brian Kelly recapping practice, talking a lot about Juwan Johnson. I'll be at practice today. 9:45 is our availability, and then I'll get you a Locked on practice report as soon as practice is over and get back to the office. So y'all have a great day.